And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us for another live episode of Conversations with Michael. We come together each and every month to offer support to any awakened human being who has chosen to embody a conscious relationship with their own soul. So let's take a deep breath here as everybody settles in to today's live broadcast. Very good. And another deep breath as we let the energies continue to blend and merge with our own physical bodies. Very good. Very good. So, if you're new to this show, feel free to visit our website at www.theteachingsofmichael.com. There you'll find a lot of heart-based programs and services that are available to anyone who's interested in having this human soul relationship. And of course, we are simulcasting here today on 3 different Facebook pages from our new home studio just outside Portland, or just outside Corvallis, Oregon. Try to get them straight here. Yes, the image here kind of sums it up here. Our search for a new place to better serve all of you led us back to the Willamette Valley right here in Oregon. And you can see here from the image, we've chosen again to place ourselves right out there in the country. We're about 10 minutes away from hiking in an 11,000 acre preserved forest. You can see our home studio there with the windows, and if you look closely there, you'll see right in the middle there's the sword of Michael, and another picture there of highlighting my own studio here, which is what I'm sitting in front of right here now while I'm talking to all of you. So I want to thank all of you for your ongoing support. Coca and I are truly grateful. Your support has helped us to enhance and to upgrade all of our online presentations in this new studio. So it means a lot to have your support, your continued support, and let's take another deep breath here. Still in transition of being in this new space and loving it as we go. And of course, to honor that, of course, the background here today is, the Oregon Coast Range, which we haven't been there for a while. Maybe it's time to revisit that and take in all the beauty here of the Coast Range itself. So we have a few quick announcements before we turn this over to Michael. Starting with our next group session here on the Masters Unplug Facebook page. These are free live monthly sessions that are available to anyone who is also a member of this private Facebook page. And during these sessions, Michael and I act as your host to encourage your human self to share where you're at in relationship with your soul. And for those of you that have embodied this very relationship, to share your wisdom in support of each other. So we found that these live group sessions have a very profound impact on those of you that are choosing to have this human soul relationship become embodied. So I appreciate and feel honored to serve all of you in this way. And it's these group sessions that's really not about me and Michael, it's about us. So we invite you, if you haven't already, to check out that group session on our Masters Unplugged Facebook page. We also offer that same type of session in the Master Circle, which is part of the Masters Unplugged program that you can sign up to on our website. So in this portion of our show, we'd like to highlight the works of some of our fellow creators. I always enjoy this, and I've been pretty blown away about some of the creative videos we received from some of you. And today we're honored to share Betsy Grobecker's new book titled Serpent Vision. So let's take a look at that video that she sent us. Wow, that's a stunning presentation there. And thank you, Betsy, for sharing your creation. I know it takes a lot of courage to put these personal experiences out there for the whole world to read about and to know that much more about us. But it's in service to life. And Betsy's had the courage here to share with anyone that's interested in reading her book how her own personal journey, her own personal experiences brought her to this place where she was able to integrate both the human parts that are frightened and the parts that don't know fear. So if you'd like to purchase a copy of Betsy's book, feel free to visit www.northshire.com, and I think at the end of the video there's the link with her own appropriate serial numbers there for you to touch there. And of course, if any of you would like to share some of your own creations, feel free to visit our website and send us a short video using the contact form. Very good. Very good. Thanks, Betsy, again. Really privileged to have your creation on today's show. And shifting now to our newest video on demand, you can now participate in the recording of our latest in-studio class entitled The Eternal Self. This live stream was presented in August and features 3 live streaming sessions with Michael, including something that has touched the heart of all those who attended the live presentation. Michael guides you step by step in helping you to deepen your relationship, or for some to experience for the first time your own relationship to this part of you. So if you are interested in participating in that, the recorded version, go to our VOD page on our website, and you'll also notice that our next in-studio class will be streamed live on Friday, October 18th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's titled Reclaim Your Freedom, and these are free to all monthly subscribers of the Masters Unplugged program. And for all non-subscribers, well, we selected a few classes from our video library that you can also rent as a video on demand. And finally, yeah, there was a lot to share here this month. Finally, let's move on to these new formats here. This one is a live workshop format that Michael asked me to create to give him more flexibility to help support us during these, well, incredibly intense times of transformation. So these new live workshops will not be scheduled very far in advance, unlike so many of the other things that we are presenting. In fact, there might be as little as 2 weeks notice to register or to sign up. So you can sign up for this one, Sensuality, Enlightenment, and You. It's going to be presented Friday on November 8th from 11 to 4 p.m. Class size is always limited, as we like to work with small groups of people. And if you sign up early, you can take advantage of the early bird discount. So I'm looking forward to working with Michael in this way with these live workshops. We're going to go back to using the old format we had with the previous in-studio classes that give anyone unlimited access to the recording of these live workshops for up to 90 days. So, and why is this so important at this time? To present these things in this way, and for something like a live workshop that might be presented with 2 weeks notice, because it's vital going forward that all of you have a really sincere, deep passion for this work. You know, your natural energies are not passive. They are not. They actually scare most human beings. So if your heart is calling you to participate, well, we or any number of other teachers that are at the forefront of this change in consciousness, we're all here to serve you. We'd be honored to serve you. On that note, let's take another deep breath as we turn this over to Michael. Indeed. Indeed. Honored to be here with all of you. I am Michael, and the transition between Robert, the human, the soul Kether, and me ends up being pretty seamless, available to each and every one of you. Indeed, it is. It's not something where there was just a lightning strike that hit Robert on the top of the head and suddenly he was fully awakened. It's a relationship that actually asks a great deal of the human part to allow something as grand as the real you to also be present in service to the awakened human being. Can you feel all the energy that is here today in support of your awakened heart? Indeed. I don't come here alone. I am at the forefront, certainly, of what is being presented, but behind me, there are a number of other beings. Some of them are you, your own eternal self, wondering if this will be the time, this will be the moment that you not only awaken to the real you, but allow it to be you too in this human experience. Let's take a breath there. In support of the awakened heart. A heart that's willing to go where very few have ever gone before. A heart that knows, without knowing how it knows, that life is good. Basically, life is fulfilling. Life supporting itself while residing within what? Within the heart of creation? Let's use that term here today. Very good. The heart of creation. And for most of humanity, the heart represents the most tender and fragile part of your own beingness as a human being. And we would agree. Humanity's heart has been wounded for a very, very long time. So be it. So be it. But within the heart of creation, there exists a feeling that indeed all is well. Here there's no problems to solve. Here there's no issues to resolve. There's nothing to figure out. There's no conflicts to process. And this is, would you not agree, radically different from how you experience yourself when you're in your mind? Within the heart of creation, all is well without knowing how or why it feels this way. It just is, and that is enough. That seems so unreliable to the mind. Without knowing how or why it feels this way, it just is, and that is enough. Well, to your mind, that is not enough. It wants to know how. It wants to know, why, heart, do you feel this way? That is not enough. I want to know all the details. I want to know a story, or I want to create a story that will allow me, mind, feeling separate from all is well, to understand why I should trust such a knowing without knowing how you know. Very confusing to the mind, is it not? And yet some of you have allowed yourself to feel this very presence inside of you, and you discovered a very unique relationship to this very energy. something that feels what? Oh, it feels so ancient. It feels so sacred. It feels incredibly pure. And as a human being, you almost forgot that it even exists. Let's take another breath there, shall we? Because it's been a long time, dear ones. Oh, you've tried to recreate it without knowing why it was so important to feel connected to this presence. And for the most part, it just feels like home. But this home, unlike so many of your physical homes, this home feels really different. What are you feeling here today? Home has come to you. Yes, in the name of Mikael, but in the name of many others, including your own eternal self. What are you feeling? Are you feeling the bliss? Let's breathe with that, just for a moment. How long has it been? So just breathe with that. The feeling of bliss. Would you not agree that this feeling, or should we call it a state of consciousness, that for the most part has been completely dismissed as being even real on this planet? And yet something inside of you keeps whispering in your ear to pay attention to this presence. The good news is that you've done more than that. Our response to that? Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for allowing us, home, to come to you. You see, so many of you allowed it to also become an integral part of your own human experience. Bold choice, my friends, very bold choice. You've allowed it by ignoring the voices from your past. Some of you are actually applying daily our 3A service program here. Acknowledge, accept, and allow home to come to you, your eternal self, with its own unique presence, its own unique name. These voices from your past that would suggest that by allowing this presence into your life, you're also ignoring all the problems that exist on this planet, suggesting that you're actually being irresponsible, escaping what's right in front of you. It needs your time and attention to resolve it. But to the contrary, it's not that you don't care about the sacredness of all of life. It's not that you don't care about all the misuse and disrespect to nature and all the resources on this planet. And it's not that you don't care about your human family. It's because you do care and you do feel the potency of this presence as it relates to your own life, that you're not willing to be distracted by the trauma of a story that it's trying to pull you into participating in trying to fix the problem. All the changes you've gone through simply because you responded to a presence that has been forgotten by most of your human family. Even though some of the changes you've experienced along the way might have been uncomfortable. Put more bluntly, have they not brought you to your knees in such a way that this is really a hard sell, is it not? If you're talking to another human being that wants to know, how did you become this aware? How did you become what you're declaring to be enlightened? This is a hard sell to say what's going to bring you to your knees. In hindsight, for many of you, you wouldn't change anything about your past, even if you could, based on what you're feeling now. Based on what you're feeling right now. Because if such a presence, the heart of creation, home, your eternal self, can literally turn your life upside down, how would it serve all the collective issues and problems your human family is struggling with? Well, much the same as it did for you. That's a hard sell, is it not? It would expose all the major distractions, all the illusions, by illuminating the core issue. And what is that issue? What is it? Trying to separate yourself from the heart of creation, you've discovered is complete folly. Complete folly. A complete waste of time. But since you are in time and space, you got seduced by the story. You got seduced by the conditions. Take another deep breath. You got seduced by trying to support yourself while pretending inside this human story that the heart of creation doesn't actually exist. And if it doesn't exist, well, you better roll your sleeves up because you're in for a lot of hard work. It requires, in that illusion, a lot of planning. It requires a tremendous amount of energy obtained outside of you. And because of that, all those moral issues, your own integrity, that are connected to being in this human story a consumer of life, well, they are conveniently ignored. But many of you are now feeling at the very core of your being something very real. It's like a light has been turned on inside of you, and it has. And it has. Let's go back. Are you feeling the bliss, dear ones? Because we can see from our perspective, not the physical forms of this physical reality, but we see the light has been turned on inside of you. Are you being distracted by the human story, pretending that it isn't real? Or are you feeling the bliss? Why is it so important for you to be here at this time? Oh, you've been flooded with a variety of stories, including our own, And for the most part, if they speak to your heart, we recommend and always suggest, well, it'd be wise to listen to them if they speak to your heart. It doesn't matter the source of these stories. It doesn't matter what part of you is responding to them. Why are you here? To simply act as a living example? One who embraced and embodied the most sacred presence in all of creation? Why am I here? To taste this? Yes. Yes. That's very important for me to know, to feel, to experience. What does it taste like? Water. What does it taste like? What does it feel like when you do taste it? Or did you just go mental? When the glass touched your lips, did you feel turned on? And if you didn't, why not? Why are you here? When you let this deliciousness of what you call water slide down your tongue and feel it enter the inside of your body, did you feel turned on? Or were you just going through the motions? Because your mind said, better drink a lot of water. I think it's time to drink more water. Why are you here? This presence that we're talking about, the heart of creation, has been called many, many names. And some of you have grown tired of all the stories, so be it. Simply because you refuse to believe anything now at face value. Good for you. Good for you. There must be something tangible connected to the story. There must be living proof. Indeed. It must be something that you can experience in a human form for it to actually be real. And what have you discovered over all these years? Over all these lifetimes? For many of you here today, you actually rediscovered a very unique quality that is connected to this presence. To you, it seems to have its own song. This song, unbeknownst to your mind, seems to have your name on it. How could that be, says your mind? How did our name, or your mind would say, of course, how would my name end up being on this song? I didn't put it there. And if mind didn't put it there, we're going to dismiss it. But damn it, you can't ignore the feeling. Could it be? Could it be so true, so real? Could this presence also really be you too? Could you be but one facet of the energy you feel within this presence? Could it be so simple? This presence that sings a song that resonates to you is your home outside the kingdom? Could this feeling of home also be inside of you? And if it is inside of you, is it now acting as your new support base? Providing you with all the energy you need to experience life as a human being without any agendas, without any conditions. Robert's going to like this. Without any commandments. And Yeshua applauds, yes. It just is. And it's sharing its presence with you right now as we speak. What are you feeling, dear ones? Is your mind so stubborn to suggest that if it is just me, Michael, here today, are you saying, mind, that my radiance cannot be felt? Really? Interesting. But of course, it isn't just me here today. Joining here with me is every single eternal self, your own non-physical counterpart, asking you, are you done suffering? Are you done? Have you had enough of all the pain? Are you ready to let me love you back, dear human? Or must this continue? We understand what you inherited, what you were told. Most of humanity would declare what we are offering here to be just wishful thinking. They would think that you're quite, well, deluded to believe in such a thing, let alone experience it. To believe or trust in something that no one can see, that most people actually can't feel. But if indeed this presence is truly real, if this is truly how you feel when you're not playing the human story, let's take a deep breath again. Because wow. Wow. You've been tolerating a lot, have you not? You've been accepting the best you can a lot of poor substitutes. But no more, if this is your time. Now will you actually allow it to be in your life, not just when you remember, not just when it feels convenient to your mind, not when your mind's put it on your calendar? Well, let me see, the mind says. Let's look at our week ahead. Let's look at our week ahead. I see a time here. I can give your soul 20 minutes here on Tuesday and looks like 10 minutes on Wednesday. Well, I mean, what's your soul complaining about? Here you have 8 hours of sleeping at night for most of you. That should be enough. I then get the other time allotted to me. We get it. So many control issues. You're inundated with so many control issues. But those aren't yours, are they? Unless you're identifying with those control issues as actually being you. Initially, it feels unnatural to the human self, as it doesn't rely on your conditioned human emotions to express yourself when you allow the soul and eternal self to be present. And at the same time, the part that your mind really doesn't like is this presence that we're speaking about here today. It will not allow itself to become domesticated. It just will not. It's like a wild stallion that humanity wants to tame in order to be able to control. To control what? Well, what does your human nature fear the most? And what is it that you have declared you want the most? Your human nature, your conditioned human nature fears absolute freedom. A true passion for life. Because passion, in its purest sense, cannot and will not be controlled. So this awareness, combined with experience, to create and express yourself in any way or any form you desire, well, that would be new. For any awakened human being, whether that be in your past or now, and for those of you that have allowed this presence, it can be really uncomfortable, is it not? Living alongside your domesticated human family while allowing your passion to be at the front of your life, and in that passion that attracts to you a compliment, but with a lot more energy to it than anything you've ever felt before, this presence. We get it. We understand it from a place of compassion. It's like a wild stallion observing a herd of horses that are content to be fed by others while living inside a comfort zone you call a stall. That is what it is it not? But the undomesticated human, and here's the good news, is not without options. We brought this up, I know, many years ago in our first book that initially was titled Riding a Stallion. Robert changed the name. We're good to go on that. And we explore all of this in more details with those that really want to go to the core within yourself to set yourself free in the I Spirit program. Because it requires a lot more ongoing support. It does. It does. We're not denying anyone. Anyone's welcome to participate, but it does require for it to be safe, for it to become integrated. But within your emerging state of consciousness, there exists your inherent ability to explore other realities while still being human. Some of you explored that through meditation. Some of you explored that through ingesting. But now we're asking you to allow it. Simply allow it. And from the outside in, you do this all the time. You leave your physical home to go to work, to buy groceries, to visit friends, to go for a walk, and on and on. It's become, well, just the natural part of being human. You become very accustomed to traveling to various parts of your own planet. And from the inside out, you have the same natural ability, but it's been lying dormant for such a long time that you have almost forgot how it feels. So we continue to recommend spending long periods of time in nature to help keep your relationship with your human family in balance, or at least tolerable. We get it. We get it. When some of you say to us, how do we coexist when our openness to life now has its feelings so sensitive to everything? But we are saying to you again, you who are listening to this today are at the forefront of this change because there was nobody else that was qualified to go through what you are going through. Get over it and own your magnificence. Stop listening to the doubts and the concerns that would suggest that there were others that are more qualified for such an experience. If there were, they would have been here and not you. So this whole notion of spending more time in nature, that has been your only option for the longest time and for most of your lifetimes. But because you have embraced, and now for some of you, because you have embodied a conscious relationship with your own divine nature, this presence that we speak of here today, this choice now opens up other potentials and other possibilities. And then that allows me to say to you as Michael, it is my joy to continue to act as an interdimensional guide, a friend, to help you to consciously move into realities that are not physical while maintaining a relationship with your own physical body. This too is not for the faint of heart. But many of you also had similar concerns about your ability to drive a car at a young age or to fly an airplane. For most of you, now, you've grown very comfortable with that type of movement through time and space, that type of travel. Being an interdimensional traveler requires some of the same basic skills you were taught to drive a car or to fly in an airplane. Mainly, to be present, to be conscious of your surroundings, but from the inside out. And that's why we are asking of you, from the inside out, to acknowledge how you're feeling, to accept whatever it is, and to allow your own energies, your own song, to also be at the front of your life, so that you can navigate the reality that is outside of you and to navigate the realities that exist also inside of you. You put a lot of time and energy into creating physical homes that you live in that feel safe, ones that feel more and more like your own personal sanctuary. Now, such a feeling also exists inside of you. And it doesn't require a lot of sacred objects to reinforce that feeling. It actually represents the very source that supports all the objects that you call sacred. From the inside out, it now requires of each of you to feel the support each and every day while existing inside your own song, allowing that energy to support and guide you, both here on earth and within all of creation. Our joy is simply to provide you with as many tools as possible to help guide you back to your own sweet song. A song that is yours alone to sing and to dance to. It is your song. There is no other song quite like yours. It's called sovereignty in motion. And it's been a long time since you've allowed yourself to also be loved back by your own song. It's singing, dear ones, as we speak. It's filled with so much passion, with so much joy. Let's take this moment just to feel it. Are you feeling the bliss? Very good. Now this lifetime is your lifetime to now live it. And from your human perspective, we get it. You believe it's about becoming self-aware. But, dear human, your soul is already aware of itself. Make no doubt about that. Now it's about who is serving whom in this human soul relationship. Dear human, dear mental emotional version of you, if you're willing to serve this soul, this presence, that gives this presence and your soul permission to also serve you. This is a win-win. This is a win-win. Are you feeling the bliss? How do we serve you, dear human? All my blessings, dear one.